The Life and Sad Ending of Mickey Gilley. Mickey Gilley was born Mickey Leroy Gilley on March 9, 1936, in Natchez, Mississippi, U.S. Gilley was the cousin of rockabilly legend Jerry Lee Lewis, and he launched his career in the late 50s with singles that mimicked Lewis' trademark style. Gilley spent most of his childhood in Faraday, Louisiana, where he spent time with his cousins Jerry Lee Lewis, Jimmy Swaggart, and Linda Gale Lewis, who would share his enthusiasm for playing the piano. However, when Jerry Lee's career began to take off, Gilley reconsidered, and in 1957, he released his first single, Ooh Wee Baby, on the local Minor Records label. The following year, he moved up to Dot Records, and Call Me Shorty was an exercise in rock and roll, boasting that, like his debut, bore more than a slight resemblance to Jerry Lee's style. Neither achieved more than regional success, and through the 60s Gilley cut singles for a variety of small labels and played night spots in the Lone Star State, as his sound evolved from rockabilly boogie to a mellower honky-tonk country approach. In 1968, Gilley hit the national country charts for the first time with Now I Can Live Again, which peaked at number 68, but there was no immediate follow-up, and Gilley settled into what seemed like a career as a regional artist. Gilley was a big enough name in Texas that in 1971 an entrepreneur in Pasadena, Texas, Sherwood Cryer, approached him about going into business together, with the singer lending his name to a nightclub Cryer planned to open. The club was named Gilley's, and it became a success, with the singer often gracing the stage. In 1974, Gilley launched a small label, Astro Records, to produce singles for jukebox distributors in the Southwest, and one, She Called Me Baby, became an unexpected success when a disc jockey heard the flipside, Room Full of Roses, and began giving it airplay. As the record gained momentum, Playboy Records picked it up for national distribution, and in April 1974, Room Full of Roses became Gilley's first single to hit the top of the country charts. It also dented the pop charts, peaking at 50. Gilley's career went into high gear after Room Full of Roses finally gave him his breakthrough. He scored two more #1 country hits, I Overlooked an Orchid and City Lights, before 1974 was out, and his first album for Playboy, Room Full of Roses, hit #1 on the country album charts. Gilley continued to dominate the country charts with hits like Don't the Girls All Get Prettier at Closing Time, Bring It On Home to Me, and She's Pulling Me Back Again, but Playboy had few other artists who were consistently selling records, and the label folded in 1978. Epic wasted no time in signing Gilley to a record deal, and his first album for the label, The Songs We Made Love To, arrived in 1979. As Gilley's star rose, the Gilley's Club became increasingly popular, growing into the largest country music bar in the world, and in 1978, journalist Aaron Latham wrote a piece about the scene at Gilley's for Esquire magazine, titled The Ballad of the Urban Cowboy, America's Search for True Grit. Filmmaker James Bridges adapted the story into a film, and 1980's Urban Cowboy, starring John Travolta and Deborah Winger and shot largely at Gilley's, became a major box office hit, as did its soundtrack album, which featured Gilley singing Stand By Me. Stand By Me became yet another #1 country hit for Gilley, and crossed over to the pop charts, rising to number 22. Suddenly Gilley and his night spot were a nationwide sensation. Between 1980 and 1984, every single Gilley released was a top 5 country hit, with 9 of those 13 songs going to #1, and a chain of Gilley's clubs opened around the country. Gilley and Cryer had a falling out that led to the closing of the club in 1989, by which time Mickey's recording career had begun to cool off. 1987's Full Grown Fool was Gilley's last song to hit the country top 20, and after leaving Epic Records, he released an album for Airborne Records, Chasing Rainbows, in 1988. However, Gilley was still a popular live act, and in the early 90s, he was one of several veteran artists who opened their own theaters in Branson, Missouri, a city that became a family-friendly vacation destination. Gilley enjoyed considerable success in Branson, where he would relocate, and concerts became his focus, though he did release a new album, Invitation Only, on Varese Sarabande in 2003, as well as occasional live releases documenting his Branson shows. In July 2009, Gilley was helping a friend move furniture when he tripped and a couch fell on him. The accident left him with 4 crushed vertebrae, and for a while, he was paralyzed from the neck down. Extensive physical therapy helped Gilley regain the ability to walk, and by the end of 2010, he was back on stage in Branson, though he could no longer play the piano. In May 2018, Gilley released Two Old Cats, a collaboration with vocalist Troy Payne. The album appeared just 4 months after Gilley was temporarily sidelined after an auto accident injured his leg. In personal life, Gilley's first wife was Geraldine Garrett, whom he married in 1953. They divorced in 1961. She was the mother of 3 of his 4 children. Geraldine Garrett died on March 6, 2010. Gilley's second wife, in 1962, is the former Vivian McDonald, by whom he has another son, Gregory. Vivian Gilley died in 2019. Gilley's children Kathy and Keith are in the music business. In July 2009, Gilley was helping a neighbor move some furniture when he fell with the love seat falling on top of him, crushing 4 vertebrae. The incident left him temporarily paralyzed from the neck down, but after intense physical therapy, he was able to walk again and return to the stage a year later. However, he still lacks the hand coordination necessary to play the piano. Probably, right now is his worst time when his health is slowly deteriorating. Thank you for listening to the story about the life of Mickey Gilley. Like and comment on your opinion in the comments section below.